Hello everyone! Let's practice mixing up some colors. We'll use primary colors only for this exercise, and we'll see how many colors we can mix up just from using one red, one blue, and one yellow, our three primary colors. We'll blend our colors together using two different methods, and you guessed it, one is wet on wet and one is wet on dry. In one column, we'll put down two of our primaries and watch them blend together into our secondary and tertiary colors. And in the other column, we'll mix our colors on the palette first and then paint them on dry paper. Grab out your swatches, and if you're like me and you have multiple blues, multiple yellows, and multiple reds, you'll need to eliminate some of them because in this exercise we can only use three colors. So get rid of all the ones that you know won't work for a color wheel. So for example, yellow ochre, it's yellow. Yellow is in its name, but on my swatch it looks brown. So that's out. Some reds are a little on the pink side or a little on the purple side. Here's a color wheel. You can find your paints that best match this red, yellow, and blue, or you can just select any red, any yellow, any blue. You don't really need to be too worried about matching the colors you see on the wheel or online. They're just a good place to start. You're learning what you can get with your own personal inventory of paints. We're all going to have different reds, different yellows, different blues that we're starting off with. And so when they mix together, they're going to give us different results. Once you decide on your three, just write them down. I chose cobalt blue, quinacridone red, and cadmium yellow light. All right, put down some clean water and then grab two primary colors, one for each end, and let's see what happens when they mix together. Grab some extra jars of water. I have 4 going, 1 jar for each of the primary colors and then 1 for rinsing. So after I paint a color, I rinse the brush off in the rinsing jar first, and then I just put it back into its jar or on the paper towel. It's, not really ideal to keep your brushes sitting in water for too long, but this goes pretty quick. Why so many jars? We usually just have the 2. When we mix all 3 of our primary colors together in the same jar, the water turns brown real quick. And since we're studying color here, we want our colors to be directly from the palette or pan or tube or wherever you're pulling them from. We don't want any other colors mixing with them. Muddy water would change the color. I'm also trying to be conscious of where I put each of my brushes, and that's the other thing. I have 3 or 4 brushes going. So rather than rinsing it out each and every single time I use it, sometimes I'll just set it on the paper towel, and then I can use it again without rinsing. We want to see 5 colors in this swatch, our red and our yellow and our orange. And then we also want to see an orange that's more on the red side and an orange that is more on the yellow side. So 5 colors, 2 primaries, 1 secondary, and 2 tertiaries. I'm seeing some orange, and I'm seeing some orange that's a little more on the yellow side, and I'm seeing some orange that's a little more on the red side. So I see red, yellow, orange. yellow orange, and red orange. That's good. That's what we want. So let's move on. We had some questions about laying your paint down evenly. And I'm going to show you when I put this red down why you should use as few brush strokes as possible with watercolor. I put my clean water down. Now I'm putting my red down, but look at how many strokes I'm doing. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 strokes. If you play it back, you can watch each of those strokes is pushing the water outward towards the edge of the swatch. And so let's just watch that area, keep an eye on it, and see how it dries. It's only been a few minutes, but you can see that part where I put the red down and I pressed my brush into the paper. All the pigment went into the paper and all the water got pushed to the sides. If you look at that area now, that area is pretty much dry because I pushed the water out of the way. So the blue is still wet and it's trying to mix with the red up there, but since the red is way drier than the blue, it's not letting the blue get sucked into it. That's why it's best to just do as few strokes as possible. Just do really light pressure with your brush. I was pretty harsh with it and I was pressing the paint into the paper. But look at that. You can really see that hard edge where the blue is trying to get into that red and it's not letting it. Okay, moving on, yellow and blue. Right off the bat, we're seeing green. Awesome. And we're seeing yellow green and blue green. So that's good. We have all 5 of our colors in this swatch. For this last part, mix up a secondary color. This time, instead of mixing them on the paper, mix them up on your palette and then just paint a swatch. This is a great example of why watercolor is so awesome. When you let the colors mix wet on wet on the paper, you can get 5 or more colors. But when you mix those same colors on the palette and paint it on dry paper, you only get 1. One isn't better than the other. It's just a very versatile medium. All right, we just used 3 colors and mixed them up and got 12. Later in the next part of this exercise or the next video, we'll again use our 3 primaries to make a 12 color wheel. So if you're liking these colors, keep them. If not, change them out and you'll get a different result. All right. Let me know if you have any questions and happy painting.